Today I am going to discuss about one small algorithm, that is very simple algorithm, that is Russian-Peasant method of multiplication. If you have any algorithms for multiplications or divisions, any other not traditional one, just share in the group. I will make it as an algorithm and I will teach you in the class. Okay, and this is the one type of algorithm for the multiplication. For example, if it is going to be taken as two numbers, there are two numbers 24 into 16. Yes, 24 into 16. In what way it is going to be do? For example, there are two numbers. The two numbers, the first number is going to be divided by 2, and the second number is into 2. First one is, for example, the numbers are like this: 24 and 16. 24 and 16. In the next step, 24 becomes 12. Okay, 16 becomes 32. The next step, 12 by 2, that is going to be 6. It is going to be 64. Here it is going to be 3. It is going to be 128. Look at here. This is 3 by 2. That I want only the coefficient, not that exact division. That is, it is going to be 1 here, and it is going to be 256. When left number is 1, I have to stop the algorithm here. I have to stop the algorithm and look at from the first here. Look at from the first. If these are these are even numbers. If this is what is this even number? If the left side number is even number, for example 24, 12, 6 are even numbers, 3 and 1 are odd numbers. If left side are even numbers, we are not including this one. This is a wrong, and we are not considering these things. That's it. Nothing is not wrong. We are not considering these things. Okay. Look at here. This is the even number, right? This is a even number. Even number. We are going to add these two things. This is the cross one. Cross one means we are not including the result. 256 plus 128. 256 plus 128. What is the result? Anyone? 256 plus 128.
384.
384. Yes, this is the multiplication of 24 into 16. 24 into 16. Just check in our calculators. I am very weak in mathematics. 24 into 16 is 284. Okay? 384. Sorry, 384. Okay? This is the algorithm here. Okay? Is the algorithm is clear or not? Yes, I am going to check one more example. 13 into 24. 13 into 24. 13 into 24. This is going to be divided by 2. What is divided by 2? Here it is 6 and here it is 48. Here it is going to be 3 and here it is 96. It is 1. Here it is 192. Okay? 192. This is odd number. We have to add it. This is even number. That's why I am crossing it. And this is odd number. Not this one. This is not I am considering. Here I am considering the left one every time. Here I am considering only the left one. Here 13, 3 and 1 is the. Then just add all the things. 24 plus 96 plus 192. What is the output?
312, sir.
312 is the output here. 312 is the output. 24 plus 192 plus 96. That is going to be 312. That is the multiplication of 13 into 24. Okay. Is my algorithm is clear or not? Now I am going to implement the program for this. Okay. First of all, I am going to add when the left number is odd, I am going to add for this 24 plus 96 plus 192. Before that, I am going to take it as a 0 or 1. I am going to add here, right? I am going to add here. That's why I am going to 24 plus 0, that is 24. Then 24 plus 96. Okay. I am going to take one number, first of all, two numbers, num1 comma num2. And for the result, I am going to take it as a 0 here. Okay. Can anyone guess what loop I have to take here? While loop or for loop? What is the best loop here? While loop or for loop? 100% it is a while loop condition. While loop. No doubt about that. Why? Because here based on this number, if it is 24, how many times it is repeated? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. If it is 13, 1, 2, 3, 4 only. The loop is not fixed here. The loop is not fixed. The iterations are not fixed here. That's why we are going for while loop. Okay? Don't go for loop. We are going for while loop here. First of all, I am going to read the two numbers. Read the two numbers. Two are integer numbers. That's why it is going to be percentage d comma ampersand num1 comma ampersand num2. Okay, I am going to read the two numbers here. I am going to write a while loop, infinite loop I am writing here. I am writing here a infinite loop. I am writing here the condition if num1 is equal to 1, num1 is equal to 1, I am going to break it. Yes, this is the condition I am writing here, right? When I am going to stop it is when it is equal to 0, equal to 1, I am going to stop the loop. Okay? Now I am going to write the logic here. If num1 is not equal to 1, what I have to do? I have to do, for example, if I am taking else, if it is not 1, if it is not 1, what I have to do? I have to modify the num1 and num2 values. Yes, for example, num1 is equal to num1 by 2. Okay, I am modifying the values. Num2 is equal to num2 into 2. Okay, I am going to modify the values here. Num1 is equal to num1 by 2. Num2 is equal to num2 into 2. I am modifying the two values and at the same time I am modifying these two values 24 and 16. First of all, I am going to check one more thing. Here 24 and 16, right? 24 and 16. I am going to check here. Is 24 and 16. Can I consider these numbers or not? For consideration, I have one logic. What is that? If the number one is odd, I have to consider number 2. Okay, I am going to check here before modification. Why? Because before modification also I have to do it. That's why if I write here, that means I am going to check these numbers only. I am not considering these numbers, but that's why I am writing before consideration, before modification. I am going to check is the num1 is equal to odd. Is it odd? Is the number 1 is odd? If the number 1 is odd, I am going to add a result is equal to result plus num2. That's it. Okay. If it is, why here I am not writing else. Why? Because if it is odd or anything, this is going to be happen. No doubt about that, right? This is going to be happen repeatedly. No doubt. But inside one condition, what is that condition? If it is odd number, I am going to take a multiplication. I am going to add the result here. I am going to add the result. That's it. For example, then I am going to modify it. After the loop, I am going to check here. Just I have a small doubt when I am writing this code. I am going to check with manually. What are the numbers? For example, 24 and 16. Okay, I am going to trace it manually. Just look at here. While true, it is always true. That's why I am coming here. Is 24 is equal to 1? No, 24 is not equal to, no, is not equal to 1. That's why it is moving into else part. I am considering here is 24 mod 2. Is it odd number? 24 is 24 is an odd number? No, 24 is not an odd number. That's why this operation is not done. Up to now the result is 0 only. Okay, coming here, 24 becomes 12 and this is going to be 32. This is going to be 32. Okay, again it is going back here. This is true. Is 12. Now number 1 is 12 is equal to 1. No, not at all. Then coming here, is 12 is an odd number? No, 12 is not an odd number. That's why result is 0 only. And coming here, 12 becomes 6 and 32 becomes 64. And again going back, this is an infinite loop. Again I am going to check, is 6 is equal to 1? No, not at all. Then is 6 is an odd number? No, 6 is not an odd number. The result is remains as 0. And the 6 becomes 3 here and 164 becomes 128. And going back again, is 3 is equal to 0? Is 3 is equal to 1? No, not at all. Then coming here, is 3 is an odd number? Yes, 3 is an odd number. Then I am going to add result is equal to 0 plus 128. Now the result is 128. Then number becomes 1. Number becomes 1. And this is going to be 256. This is going to be 256. Again I am going back here. This is an infinite loop. And I am going to check 1 is equal to 1. Is 1 is equal to 1? Yes. Then it is coming out of the loop. Just observe here, for the 1 we are not checking here. That is the mistake for my logic. That means I am not writing here. Instead of I am writing here, I am going to cut this. I am going to write outside this. For example, I am writing here. What happened now? I am coming here. Here also, just if you observe, the value is not adding here. The value is not adding. Then number 1 is not adding here. Then, for example, if I modify it to 0, for example, if I modify the number 1 is equal to 0 here, 1 by 2, 1 by 2, it is going to be 0. For example, if I am going to execute it, I am not printing the result here, just wait. What is the error? What is the error? Come again. Fun 1 expected before a sorry. No errors. I forget here to print the result here. I am going to print printf %d comma result. I am going to execute it. It is going to be 24 into 16. 24 into 16, the output is 384. Just observe here. Okay. For example, if I am going to execute it, 13 into 24, right? 13 into 24. 13 into 24, the output is 312. Okay. Here, instead of 1, I am going to calculate this 1 operation also, right? That's why I am going to modify it as 0 here. 1 by 2. Here 1 becomes Here 1 becomes 0, then I have to stop it. This is a manually breaked system. We can write here like this also. Number 1. That's it. There is no need to write this break also. We have to write like this. Very simple algorithm this is. That's it. If I am going to execute it, 12 into 12. 12 into 12, that is going to be 144. Okay? Yes. Note it down, everyone. Just note it down. With the comments also you have to write what I am writing here. Is it clear, everyone? I think Russian percent multiplication method is a very simple one. If the number is odd, if the number 1 is odd, I have to consider number 2. I am going to add the result to the number 2. Okay? If you have any doubt the understanding of the multiplication method, the algorithm, just go for the YouTube or anything else, just type Russian percent multiplication method, how the multiplication is doing. I already explained what here. If you want to search on that Google, just Google it. Don't search for the program, search for the logic, that's it. Yes, note it down, everyone, I think. And I'm going to convert this program into functions. Okay, now I am going to convert this program into functions concept. How I am going to convert? Just look at here. I am going to cut it and all the things. Just everyone note it down fast. I'm going to take one more new program. Here I am going to write funds 5. Now I am going to delete all this logic. I am going to write some multi of num1 comma num2. I am going to write here num1 comma num2. Here I am going to get the result. Result is equal to, here there is no need to write here is equal to 0. That's it. The program is like this. Percentage D. I am going to print the result as RES. That's it. Yes, this is the main program. That's it. Nothing else. We are reading two values and we are calling the function. And I am going to get the result. What we have to observe when we are seeing this line? What is this line? Yes. What is this line? From this line we have to get 4 things. Every time we have to get 4 things. What is the name of the function? The name of the function is multi. Okay? The name of the function is multi. Okay. How many arguments I am passing? 2 arguments I am passing. What are the data types of the 2 arguments? Both are integer and integer. Okay. The last one, the most important, is the function is returning any value? Yes. No doubt about that. Why? Because it is like this. Is equal to some value. What is the, if it is returning, what is the data type of this value? What is the data type of this value? That is int. That means the return type of the function is int. Okay, the return type of the function is integer. Name of the function is multi. 2 arguments are passing. The data types of 2 arguments are int and int. Okay. Now I am going to develop that function. Integer is the return type. Function name is multi. And 2 arguments I am passing, that is num1 comma num2. Both are integer data types. This is the function definition for this one. This is the function definition. Okay. If you observe here, the return type of the function is integer. That means definitely it is going to be written something. Okay, definitely it is going to be written something. For example, int result is equal to 0, for example. If I execute this one, what is the output? What I am returning here? The result is equal to 0. We have to check, is it working perfectly or not? Yes, look at here. It is returning 0. Yes, it is working perfectly. The function call and returning is working perfectly. Every time we have to write, we have to check this. Is the function call is perfectly working or not? For example, here I am going to write here some void like this. If I am going to compile it, it is going to be give some error here. Why? Because what is that? Return with a value in a function returning void. We are expecting some value, but the function is void thing. Then how I am going to expect the value from that nothing return value? That's why I am going to modify here like this. If you look at here, if I compile it, there is no errors and no warnings here. Okay, everything, the syntax is matching every time. Okay, now I am going to develop the logic here. While num1, sorry, while num1, I am going to write the same logic what I write in the previous program. The same thing what I write here. What I write here, I am going to just copy from this and I am going to paste it. That's it, nothing else. Number 1 and everything, result is equal to 0. For example, if I am going to execute it, 24 space 13 or 14. 13, 24 into 13 is equal to 312. I'm going to execute it. 13 into 12. 13 into 12 is 156. Yes? Yes, this is working perfectly or not? Yes, note it down. First of all, note down the main function. Note down the main function. Main function, when we are using functions, the main function is very friendly, right? It is very friendly and it is very readable. That means here I am reading the functions. Look at it. Look at this statement. This is the declaration part. This is the declaration part. Here I am reading all the values what is necessary for the program. Here I am doing the operation. Here I am printing the result. That's it. The main program is very simple when we use functions concept. Okay, just note down the main function. If you want to grip on the programs, on the functions concept, you have to change all the programs, all the previous 5 to 10 programs you have to change into functions. Then only you will get a clear idea about functions. Here also I am discussing every time using functions only. Okay, what I am teaching here you can understand. For example, you have to understand, then you have to practice it. You have to practice, then only you can understand what I am teaching here. The functions concept is very important. We have to write all the programs, every program in the functions concept only. Okay, that's why I am teaching the function concept in 2 early stages. Okay, we have to understand that is programming is not for example for loop 10 programs, while loop 10 programs, if some 10 programs, functions some 10 programs, not like that. We have to combine it. If there is a loop is there, in the loop there is a condition is there, in the condition we have all these concepts we have to write in a functions. We have to write like this. This is the programming, that's it. The next question, if you have any idea about if any algorithm like this Russian peasant method, just share with me and I will try to write the logic for this. Okay, I will try to write the logic and note down the functions, function call, the multifunction. Every time I am passing some arguments, I am returning some value. The most important method, this is the only one method every time we are using. We are passing some arguments and we are getting the result back. We are getting the result back. I will write one more thing. Is the same program. Look at here. I'm not here. I'm going to pass here result. Just look at here. Look at here. Now I am passing here num1 and num2 and ampersand result. What is ampersand result? Here I am passing the address of the value. Okay, address. I am passing the address here. Just look at here what I am passing here. The name of the function is multi. The name of the function is multi. I am passing two values. Okay, I am passing three values actually. I am passing here three values. Okay, first one is integer, second one is integer. What is the third one? The third one is integer address. What is the third one? The third one is integer's address. That means, do you know the function concept? Function pointer. Pointer means, what is pointer? Pointer is used to store, everyone knows that pointer is used to store the address of another variable. Every time we are talking about these things only. Okay, but the same thing, right? The same thing here. That means the function, just observe here, there is no return type for this function. If you observe this function call, there is no return type from the function. Now that means this is void thing. This is void. Here three variables. Here how many variables I want? Three variables. First one is integer, the second one is integer. What is the third one? What is the third one? The third one is integer's address. Integer's address I can catch with integer pointer only. Okay, is it clear everyone? What is that? For example, what is the pointer? Pointer is used to store the address of another variable. The same thing here. This is here I am passing the address. Here I am passing the address. I am going to put in the pointer. Okay, like that. What I am writing here, for example, some star s is equal to ampersand a, like this. That means I am going to store a's address in pointer. The same thing r's address. R's address I am going to catch with some r value. Okay. Now I am going to modify the number here. For example, if I am going to execute it, 24, 25 and 25. I am going to execute it 25 into 25. The output is 625. I am going to just observe here. Here I am not writing any value here. This is one more method to return the values. What is this method? Here I am passing three values. The most important one. This one is also most important one. Here also I am passing the three values. The first one is number 1 and the second one is number 2 and the third one is a pointer. Okay, I am not teaching the pointers at the last concept. I am going to show you the concept of pointer. I am not teaching here. I am showing the concept. What is the use of pointer? What is the use of pointer here? I am passing the address. The definition. What is the definition for the pointer? The pointer is used to store the address of another variable. Same data type, right? Pointer is used to store the address of another variable. Here also I am passing the address. If it is address, I am going to catch with every time. I am going to catch with pointer. Okay. What type of pointer we have to use? What type of address I am passing? I am passing integer variable address. That's why I am copying with integer pointer. Is it clear? I think. Now I am going to modify the value on that address. Star result is equal to star result into, what is this? Star means what is the star? Res. Star res means value at that address. Res is the address. Res is the address. I am going to modify on the address, on that address. That's why value at that address. I am going to modify value at that address. Okay, for example, value at that address is 0. 0 plus 13. 0 plus 13 is going to be stored in the same address again. Going to be stored at the same address. Again and again, I am going to place the same value at the same address and again and again. That's why here I am not returning any value. Just look at here I am not returning any value, but here I am going to print the result. What here I am modifying the result value that is applicable to the main function. That is applicable to the main function. For example, this is not the address. For example, this is not the address. For example, I am taking as the result as 0. For example, okay. Here I am not passing the address. I am passing here the value here. Here also I am taking the value here. I am taking like this. If I am going to execute it, 12 into 12, the output is 0 only. Why? Because here I am passing the values. Here I am passing the value here. What is the value here? 0. 0 is passed here. Here, this is the local variable. This is the local variable now. If I am passing the values, if I am not modifying the values, it is not replicated back to the main function. For example, I will show you. For example, I am going to write here star num1 into, sorry, not star num1, I am going to write num1 is d and percentage d. I'm going to write some is equal to and multiplication method. I am going to write here num1 comma num2. I am going to pass the address here. I am going to pass the address. Here also I am taking that star value. Here also I am taking star, and here also I am taking star. Okay, look at here. Here I am passing 2 values and 1 address. Okay, 2 values and 1 address. Here, look at here. Here I am modifying the num1 and num2. Okay, here I am passing num1 and num2, modifying the values every time. But if I am going to execute it, 12 and 13, just look at here. 12 into 13 is equal to 156. That means here I am modifying the values in the function, but the modified values are not reflected back to the main function. Why? Because here I am passing the values only, but the result is 0 initially, but here I am modifying the value that is reflected back to the main function. Why? Because I am passing the address here. Okay, here I am passing the address here. For example, look at here. I am passing these values also address. For example, these values also address, and here also I am taking as pointers here. Just look at the change. Sorry, star number. If I am going to execute it, 12 into 13. Just wait. What happened here? This is. Just look at here. It is going to be the values are modifying like this. The values are modified, and all the values are going to be. Just wait. Here it is going to be 12 into 13. Just look at here. 12 is going to be, the number 1 is going to be 0, and the 13 is going to be 206, and the result is correct. If you observe here, the result is correct, and here the what I modified for num1 and num2 also reflected back to the main function. Okay, if you are passing by address, no doubt, if you pass by address in the function call, if you pass by address by function call, if you modify the values in the function definition, if you modify the values in the function definition, that is reflected back to the main function. that is reflected back to the main function. Okay. and one more thing, one more point. If you pass the values, if I pass arguments as pass by value, if any modifications done on the function that are not reflected back to the main function, write the two examples here. Okay. Write that. What is this? This is pass by value, pass by address. I'm going to modify this. There is no need to write like this. Okay. I'm going to show you. That's why I'm writing like this. I'm here with this example, with the single example, I'm writing here pass by value and pass by address also. Just look at these two are pass by values and this one is by address. Okay. In one example, I'm passing. I'm working with the two examples. This is the most important one. Okay. I will try to explain if is there any program related to this. Every time I am going for this one only, this concept, very beautiful concept this is. That means the function is not returning any value, but also it is returning back. Why? Because we are passing by address here. This is the one method to return multiple values from the function. Just look at here. If I am passing all the three values as address, all the three values are modified or not? Every time if you observe the function concept, the function returns only one value every time. But here, if I am passing by address, the num1, num2 and num3, if I am changing here, that is reflected back to the main function. That means we are returning multiple values from the function using that pointer. That is what is the advantage of the pointer? What is the advantage of the pointer? Note down. What is the advantage of the pointer? What is the usage of the pointer? What is the usage of the pointer? Or the advantage of the pointer is returning multiple values from the function. That is the main advantage of the pointer. Returning multiple values from the function. Basically, the function returns only single value, right? Only single value. But using pointers concept, we can return number of different values from the function. Okay, just note down everyone. This is the program. I think everyone is clear what I am doing here. Just note down what I am writing here. Ampersand res. Ampersand means that is the address operator. Look at this functionality. What is this? The function name is multi. I am passing here three values. The first one is num1 and num2 and the result. What are the data types? This is an integer value. This is an integer address. Okay. This is the integer address I am passing. Is there any return value there? There is no return value. That's why I am writing void here. Integer num2 and here integer pointer. Why I am writing the pointer? Here I am passing the address. That's why I am going to catch with pointer here. Okay. The function concept is very clear, I think. My question is, what is my question here? I am going to find is the number is a binary number or not. Is the number is binary number or not? It's a simple thing. For example, what is the input here? The input is going to be 1 0 and 1 1 0 1 0 like this. Is this a binary number or not? Yes. Binary number means it is going to be contained only ones and zeros. The output is going to be true here. For example, like this. It is false. Why? Because it is containing two digits. That's why we are not returning as a true. It is going to be written as a false. The number is binary or not. This is the question, and what we have to do, include stdio.h. Every time when we are writing the program, just start every time we are going for the hash include stdio.h. Int main and return 0. First of all, I have to write the basic template every time. And how many values I am going to read? I am going to read only one value. That is going to be num1, num, that's it, nothing else. I am going to read it. The supporting values, if I want any supporting values, I will read at the time. Okay, I don't know exactly when I am starting the program, I don't know exactly how many variables are necessary for this program. Okay, and I am going to store the result. That's why I am going to take one more variable, that is the result, and is binary of num. Just look at the function name here again. The function name is binary. How many values I am passing? I am passing one value, that is integer. Is the function is returning any value? Yes, it is returning integer value. Okay, integer value. I am going to write here, if res is equal to 1, print true here, else okay, that means if it is a binary number, we are passing, we are returning the result as 1, otherwise we are returning false. Okay, that means here I am going to moving int is the return type of the function, is binary is the function name, and I am passing one integer value, that's it. Okay, I am passing resulting value. Now I am going to write what I have to take here. For example, I am going to directly writing the while loop, while num. I am going to write some integer value r. That's why I am going to take int r here. I am going to check every digit. Num mod 10 here, and sorry, num, right? Num mod 10, and num is equal to num by 10. Now I am going to check, is the is r is 1 or 0, I have no problem. If it is 1 or 0, I have no problem. But if it is other than that one, I am going to write here, if r not equal to 0 or r not equal to 1. Okay, if r is not equal to 0 or not equal to 1, I am going to return 0 here. I am going to return 0 here. If I am going to, here I am going to return 1. Just look at here. What I am passing here, if r is not equal to 0, r is not equal to 0, for example, if it is not equal to 1 also, that means, for example, here the some digit is 2. I am going to check 2 is not equal to, okay, sorry, missing here. Is true, that means 1 not equal to 0. This is also true, right? No, we are not doing like this. This is not possible. The number is not equal to 0. For example, here I am going to write here is equal to 0 or is equal to 1. There is no problem here. There is no problem. And I am going to write else I'm going to write return 0. For example, if r is equal to 0 or r is equal to 1, I have no problem. Okay, but it is not like this. If other than any number, this is going to be a, for example, I am going to write like this. This is going to be a false here. For example, I am going to execute it. It is going to be true here. Okay, I am writing here, if r is equal to 0 or r is equal to 1, no problem. No problem for that. That's why I am not writing anything else. Else, for example, if these are not true, for example, I am coming with 2 here. 2 is equal to 0. Yes, this is true. Yes, this is true. That's why it is going here. 2 is not equal to 0, right? That's why it is going here and it is going to be print. Just I am going to work this one also. Just wait. Happen here. I write like this. If I write like this, it is not equal to 0. It is not equal to 0. If I am taking it as a 1, if I am taking it as a 1, if I am taking it as a 1, 1 is not equal to 0. Yes, this is the true. Now, this is also true. Okay, that means in this case, it is going to be false here. 1 is either 0 or 1. We have to go for this one only. Write this one. This is the better one. You are return 0. This is the better one. Okay, let's go for this one. Other than 0 or 1, other than 0 or 1, I am going to return 0 here. Note it down. This is the main function. This is the main function first of all. This is the main function. Very simple one. Reading the declaring the values, reading the value, and function call. From the function call, if it is 1, I am printing return. If it is else, I am going to print a false here. I am going to print false here. If you understand the concept, you can write your own. Okay. Then moving here. Now I am going to turn this program as I am going to try here. I am going to write some ampersand result. I am going to pass the result here. I am not working with these values. Now look at the function call. The function call has no return type. The function name is binary, and I am passing two values. One is integer value and the second one is integer address. Okay, I am going to change this. Now this is going to be turn it as a void, and here I am going to working as integer ampersand result here. Okay, here I am going to, here I am not returning any value, right? Returning any value, star result is equal to 0. Here I am writing, sorry, it is going to be pointer, right? It is going to be pointer. So I am going to execute it 1 2 3 4 5 like this. This is going to be a false one. I am going to execute 1 0 1 0 1 0. It is going to be true like this. I am going to give some modifications here. I am not changing the result value here. Why? Because before I am going to use some return values. Returns are working if the return is compiled. If control is reaches the return, the control is automatically going back to the main function, right? That's why I am writing here. I am writing return 1 also. But here always I am going to be, if both are 1, if the digit is 0 or 1, I am going to change the result as 1. If other than any number is there, I am going to modify the result value to 0 and break. There is no other value to check here. There is no other value to check. Okay, that's why I am going to write here 0 and break. Here I am modifying the value in the address, right? Here I am modifying the value in the address. That's why here the value is also modified. That's why it is printing the exact result. Just note it down, everyone. This one also. Just try to write everything in the two concepts, with return and without return. There are two important functions concept, with return and without return. Here I am covering the concept along with the programs. Just if you observe here, I am telling here the functions with pass by values and pass by reference also, and I am covering the logic part also. Okay, if you observe the two things at a time, practical things.